Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment for coaching. My links are down below. In today's video, we are going to be talking about spirituality and authenticity and how these are literally one and the same. You see, a lot of people think that when you become spiritual, you must think a certain kind of way, believe certain things, act in a certain kind of way. And honestly, that is a load of BS. We're going to talk all about that. Now, if that sounds good to you, like this video, subscribe if you're new. And if you see the option to hype up this video, could you please hype it up for your boy so I could get some more viewership and present this message to more people who may need it? Just support your boy a little bit real quick, please. It don't hurt, you know what I'm saying? But nah, aside from that though, like I said, like, subscribe, hype up the video. Let's get right into today's video. All right, so when it comes to being spiritual, right, I always say that the word spiritual means to be of the spirit. Now, there's actually a lot of people who don't like identifying with the title of spiritual, and I can't fully blame them. Now, me, I'm going to always identify with that. I'm going to always be spiritual. I'm going to always strive to be of my spirit no matter what. However, a lot of people have claimed to be spiritual and they actually weren't spiritual, and they did certain things which may have put certain people off from wanting to claim the title of being spiritual. A lot of people, when they identify with being spiritual, they feel like they can't fully be themselves because they feel like they're being held to a certain standard, which they can't always fulfill. But the thing is, there are no standards besides the standards which you set for yourself. And if people actually understood spirituality, the practice of becoming of the spirit, then they would not really shy away from the term spiritual. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I have this hypothesis that the reason why you even have a quote unquote conscious community is because a lot of people will see the spiritual community and they think like, oh, I don't want to be like these niggas. These niggas want to think a certain way, be a certain kind of way. I don't want to be that. Instead, we're gonna call ourselves conscious. But even then, them niggas don't even be conscious like that. I ain't gonna cap. All these niggas be on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The way I see it, I ain't gonna cap. That's just me being me. A lot of niggas be on bullshit. I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? My point is though, right? There's a lot of people who find spirituality off-putting because of how people present it. But they don't realize that if you're really spiritual, you would be the most authentic version of yourself you could possibly be, because what is your spirit? Your spirit is the true you. It's the first aspect of yourself that becomes an individual, because truly you are God, source, the most high. You're one with all. You are one with all things. But when you want to become an individual that's separate from all things, you split off into an eternal spirit, which can experience a myriad of lifetimes, whether it's galactic lifetimes, whether it's freaking fairy lifetimes, whatever it is, you can experience different lifetimes depending upon what your spirit wants to do. This is important because inside this life, your spirit chose to live inside this life and it wants to express itself in a certain kind of way. Understand that if you're truly becoming of the spirit, you'll be the most authentic person ever, and you'll simply express yourself the way you see fit within inside that current period of time. The reason a lot of people like me, according to what other people say, is because they feel like I'm truly authentic. I'm not trying to present myself a certain kind of way. I'm not trying to act like something I'm not. I'm simply just coming on this camera, talking how I want to talk, and sharing experiences which I've went through, you know? That's all I'm really trying to do. And I give certain lessons based upon my experience. And if I got a certain lesson from a book, I'm going to tell y'all, nigga, I read a certain book, I heard this person say it, and I agree with it. If I don't have experience with something, I try to always make sure that I say that, you know what I'm saying, I might have got this from somebody else, whatever the heck, right? But a lot of stuff comes from my own unique experience. I'm just being authentic with what I've seen for myself and what I've lived for myself. So if you strive to be an authentic person, you naturally have to become spiritual, because the most authentic version of you is your spirit, literally. And it's actually such an amazing thing to identify with the term spiritual, because if you identify with the term spiritual, you're just saying that you strive to be of your spirit. You're just striving to be always authentic. And the way that it looks could be very different. Sometimes you might be meditating and stuff like that. Sometimes you're reading a book. Sometimes you might leave your body. Sometimes you're just chilling with your girlfriend. Sometimes you're chilling with your regular friends. Sometimes you're watching TV. Sometimes you're playing a video game. Like me, I don't really play video games, but that's not because I think that video games are bad. My spirit just hasn't been calling me to do that. At some point, though, I know for a fact that I will. Like, I ain't gonna cap. I'm gonna be playing the game with my girl and stuff like that, beating her ass in Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna be doing that. Am I doing it right now? Nah. But will I be doing it in the future? Hell yeah. But I'm just gonna do it when I feel drawn to do it. Even with me cursing. Some people think when you become spiritual, you can't curse. I don't give a fuck about that. Now, granted, there are certain times where I feel very in tune with my spirit and I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna curse right now. But other times, it's like there's a certain energy which my spirit wants to present, and shit, I might curse sometimes when I do that. I feel like in the video about authenticity, the reason why I feel like cursing is because I'm talking about a topic of authenticity. Sometimes a nigga want to fucking curse, so you fucking do that shit. I'm showing niggas that while being a spiritual person, I can talk how the fuck I want to talk. You feel what I'm trying to say, bro? So everybody's expression of their spirit is gonna be different. Right? Like, for example, if you guys have my Instagram, right, and you guys watch my story pretty often, you guys see that I have been developing my own kind of drip. Now, what I'm wearing right now is not really that drip, but this is kind of unique. Like, I'm always wearing dragons, right? I got dragons right here, got a dragon right here, you know what I'm saying? But there's other times where I got this thing called my koozie drip. I can't really describe, you just gotta see it. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll make a highlight. Look, my Instagram's down below. You don't even got to follow me, my nigga. Just go to my Instagram, right, and look at the highlight that says a koozie drip. You'll see that I have my own sort of swag that I'm trying to adopt. And I just got a lot more clothes to match that. Like, I want to dress how I want to dress. But even with this, like, I work at a school, right? The kids literally ask me, hey, why you always wearing dragons? Because I like dragons. Like, before, I can't reach that sweater, but there's a different hoodie that's another dragon hoodie. You know what I'm saying? I'm always wearing dragons, bro, because I love dragons. I have a lot of past life connections with dragons, and plus, they're just super freaking cool to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I have no problem showing that. You feel me? Some niggas might think it's weird, like, oh, this nigga's weird, he into dragons. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? I doubt that most of y'all would think that shit, but I think that in the outside world, some niggas might think like, this nigga always wearing dragons. That's kind of weird. It's like he's like, they might say it as childish or like on like some just weird. I don't know. I just feel like some niggas might think it's weird, but me, I don't really care because I just want to express myself. I just want to express myself how I want to express myself with my koozie drip. Niggas might think that shit's weird. Now, granted, mad niggas be saying, yo, this shit hard as fuck, bro. But I'm sure some niggas watch my story like, bro, what the fuck is he wearing right now? Guess what? I don't give a fuck. I just want to express myself how I want to express myself. Whether that's talking a certain way, looking a certain way, thinking a certain way, whatever. Also with being spiritual, you're not forced to adopt certain beliefs. In fact, if you get in tune with your spirit, you'll actually drop your beliefs and simply just stick with what you know, because your spirit is very intelligent, right? This is like certain things about your spirit are universal. Everybody's spirit is intelligent. That's a fact. We're not denying that. Everybody's spirit is divine. You can't deny that. Even if that person has a lifetime where they're an evil piece of shit, that doesn't define their spirit. That is just one way which their spirit has expressed themselves, usually out of unawareness. Usually when a person becomes unaware of their spirit, they're more open to doing evil shit because they forgot their true nature. So my point is, right, everybody's spirit is divine, it's intelligent, and I'm saying that because I know this for a fact, that the way that the spirit operates is not off of belief. It simply just experiences things and gains knowledge of that thing. That's the reason why you're on Earth, right? Like, you could have been off Earth, right? Learning about Earth, like, oh, this Earth shit seemed cool. But in order for your spirit to truly understand Earth, it has to incarnate and experience Earth. And even though it can experience Earth, it might have to do it several times to get several different perspectives, because one lifetime might not be enough. Like, for example, one time you're a boy, one time you're a girl. Now you have two different experiences of living within inside this physical plane. You see? So the reason why I'm saying all this is because your spirit is this infinite eternal energy, which is always expressing itself in the most authentic manner. And it doesn't try to hold on to beliefs in the same way that people in the quote unquote spiritual community try to do. And I put quotes because these niggas don't be spiritual, bro. They don't be of their spirit. They just be reading certain books that they think is spiritual. Like they read about energy or they read about mystical stuff and they think, now I'm spiritual. But that doesn't mean shit. You're only spiritual if you become of your spirit. And a lot of people in this community, right, they like to present themselves a certain kind of way as if they're like all knowing or they know everything, or like they're always super peaceful and things like that. Granted, when you become of your spirit, you do attain way more peace, but you don't have to express that all the time. Like, for example, right, at my job, sometimes I had to raise my voice at the kids. Now, am I mad at the kids? I'm not. But sometimes they just are ignoring what you're saying until you raise your voice at them. So my point is, although in that moment I could feel peaceful, I can still express myself in ways which may not always be your typical view of peace. Niggas might think he raising his voice, he mad. Niggas not mad. I just want you to listen to me real quick. So I need people to understand that authenticity is very important. In fact, you can only become spiritual if you're authentic. And the thing is, you can only become authentic if you're spiritual. You'll never be truly authentic until you tap in with your spirit, because when you're not tapped in with your spirit, you're just expressing information which isn't always even coming from you. You could be expressing information that came from your mom, from your dad, from a TV show, from one of your friends. Growing up, we take on the traits of things that we see around us and we ingrain it into our personality, but that's not our true self. That's information from the outside world, which we take it on and add it to our character. But who do we become when we tap in with our spirit? That's your true authentic self. So once again, you cannot be authentic unless you're spiritual. You cannot be spiritual unless you're authentic. These things go hand in hand. And this is really important because when you realize this, you stop trying to live up to expectations. Like, people think, I gotta become more spiritual. You can't, like, to become more of your spirit, like, I get it. Like, there's definitely ways to get over more and more blocks to allow more of your spirit to come through. But understand, being spiritual is just being spiritual. If you're of your spirit, you're of your spirit. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that you don't have to try to strain yourself to, I got to look this certain kind of way. I got to have these experiences. I got to act this way. I got to read these books. That's not being spiritual. That's just following what other people are guiding you or trying to tell you to do. Or that's just, even if people are not telling you to do that, that's just you believing that you have to do something which your spirit isn't able. Oh, the fuck? You believe that you have to do things which your spirit isn't even always telling you to do. Granted, you might read certain books because your spirit wants you to read that book, but you're not reading it to become more spiritual. Like, people will read a book or try to have an experience to become more spiritual. And it's like, no, just become of your spirit and then live your life from there. Sometimes your spirit might try to call you to leave your body. Granted, leaving your body can help you to become more of your spirit. But honestly, the reason why you should want to leave your body, I feel like a higher reason to want to leave your body is because your spirit is urging you to leave your body because it wants to have that experience on earth. It's not because I need to leave or else I'm not spiritual. Like, no, that's not smart to think. Now, if your spirit wants you to leave your body, that's great. But sometimes your spirit might be calling you to do some other, like, for example, your spirit might call you to do other things. For example, Senpai Kai, right? He's doing a lot of telekinesis and stuff like that. pyrokinesis, all that. You feel me? Does he leave his body? I'm not sure, but I doubt he astral projects as much as somebody like, for example, Ryan Cropper. Ryan Cropper leaves his body a lot. Senpai Kai does telekinesis. Now, Ryan Cropper is also practicing telekinesis, and there might be certain overlaps, but they're simply just living from their spirit and doing what their spirit calls them to do. That's what you should do. Don't try to read a book to become more spiritual. Don't try to do anything to become more spiritual. Do things because your spirit is calling you to do that. You see, the difference seems small, but it's actually really big because you get better results when you just do it from your spirit. You feel me? So I could honestly go on and on about this topic, but long story short, bro, be more authentic. Understand that your spirit flows through you. It will express itself in different ways that may look completely opposite to somebody else who's also spiritual, and that's okay. Be yourself. Be authentic. Don't try to act like something that you're not. Don't try to act smarter than what you actually are. Nothing like that. You feel me? I'm in this video. Love you. Catch you. Peace. The freak out.